What's up, guys? Rob Fun here again. Been about a week and a half since my last video. In that video, I went over the healthy alternative to smoking cigarettes and how to quit smoking cigarettes by vaping. Um, and in the next couple of videos, my goal is to uh, push further into that by explaining the variety of hardware, the mechanics of it, and the different methods and the different variables involved for the different needs that people might have. Because at the end of the day, we all have different needs, we all have different wants, we all have different outlooks on how things are, and therefore I want to give people the choice to go in and decide for themselves what it is that they want to accomplish. That being said, do keep in mind that I by no means am a super expert. I've done quite a bit of research and I've gained quite a bit of knowledge through this research. But I also challenge everyone watching this video, if this is something that you are considering, if vaping is something that you are looking into and looking towards going in that direction and quitting smoking cigarettes, then I encourage you do all the research that you can. Just to give you guys a few resource references, and I will more than likely do this in all my videos as I go along and I learn new things. But there's many folks out there that give some great information, that give reliable reviews and stuff like that, unbiased reviews as well. And some of those people include people like Professor Vapes, fantastic guy, great guy. First person, one of the first people to, if not the first person to actually comment on my video, which was a huge plus coming from someone like him. Great guy, very knowledgeable, does great reviews, very honest, and very helpful for the community, for the vaping community. That being said, there's also folks like Grim Green, Rip Tripper, Mike Vapes, Vapin' Fagan, Tia Vapes, Indoor Smokers. I mean, there's so many YouTube channels out there that are, you know, very helpful, very knowledgeable as far as giving you the information necessary to start your journey. That being said, though, I am catering more towards the folks that are just getting into vaping or considering getting into vaping, whereas some of those YouTubers are more focused on experienced vapors. And so what I want to do is I'm going to today show you a variety of some products, and there's no specific reason I don't get paid for any of this. There's no sponsorship or anything like that. I'm not doing any reviews or anything like that, but I do want to show you a couple of different options, because what I find in many cases, especially since, as you can see, I work at a vape store, I find that in many instances in other vape shops or any places that sell these products, there's a lack of information, there is a lack of care. For the most part, people just want to get you in, sell you something, and walk you out the door. And that is not the case with me at all. My goal is to match people with the proper product, with what makes them feel comfortable and what fulfills their needs. So that being said, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video, I used my little box mod. This is something that's very good in my opinion. Doesn't necessarily matter to this brand. I specifically like this box mod for the simple fact that it is an internal battery, so there is no extra batteries. You don't have to buy any extra batteries or anything like that. And as you go getting into this sort of a hobby, I guess, or this just sort of industry, you start learning certain dialogues and certain words and expressions used and stuff like that. And excuse me. For anyone familiar with batteries, this little device here has a 5,000 mile battery. Now, 5,000 mile battery in a device this small at 80 watts is fantastic piece of equipment for me, at least. And I recommend things like this to beginners all the time, because it's very simple to use. You plug it up, it's a regulated mod, it's very safe. It's got a little port you could charge in. Most devices do. Excuse me. And so this is something that I recommend a lot to beginners, and I'll get into this in a minute. The reason being is because most vape shops that you go into, I've noticed, they recommend something like this. And this is a great starter set, don't get me wrong. This is made by Aspire. It's a very good little kit. There's various different type of these mod batteries sold, different, different brands and stuff like that, different colors, different shapes, different sizes, all that good stuff. But essentially, this is somewhat more or less what new vape interested people are recommended when they walk into a vape shop. And again, I said, like I stated before, this is very good for some beginners, especially because this is good for mouth to lung versus a direct lung hit. We'll get into that as time goes by with more videos. But essentially, I personally used one of these for about a week when I began vaping. And the reason being is because I noticed that, and this is why I'm making this video and why I'm getting into, the different needs of different people. Because when I started vaping, this is what was presented to me. They got one of these, they filled it up with 18 milligram nicotine juice, tobacco flavored menthol, because I was a menthol smoker. And to be quite honest with you, my first initial experience of vaping was, I honestly didn't like it. And I didn't like it not because vaping wasn't good or anything like that, but because I was given one option. And that one option is what I went with. And I realized that I needed something different. And by something different, I realized that this gives you the nicotine that you need, but it doesn't produce the vapor, the cloud production, doesn't produce the plumes of vapor that I do with like a sub-ohm tank, which I'll get into more of that later. But that was a personal need on my end. Because I felt like my mind was saying, well, you're getting the nicotine here, but because you don't see that big plume of smoke or vapor like you did with a cigarette, well, my mind is saying I'm not getting anything. So I found myself chucking and chucking and chucking at it, and I was getting dizzy because of too much nicotine and all those things. And I'm not trying to scare you away from something like this. This is very good for beginners, but like I said, different people need different things, and this just wasn't for me. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you something like this. Very, very commonly used for beginners because it's a battery, it has a button, you put the tank on top, you screw it in, you put your juice in there, and you press a button, you vape, and it's as simple as that. Very, very easy to use. But it just wasn't my style. But again, I want to show you because this is something that is very good for beginners, especially those that need that mouth to lung hit. Now, a step up would be something like this. This is a very, very good kit, in my opinion. It's a K4. It's a 2000 mAh battery, which is quite a bit stronger than this. And it comes with the atomizer, the tank up the top. And it has an airflow control, which helps with vapor production. So for me, this was quite a bit better of a jump up. That being said, then you get into what we call box mods, and I'm pulling this one out because this is actually kind of new. This is called the Alien by Smoke, and it's a really nice mod. Actually, it's probably my favorite mod now. But these guys require batteries, and the reason they require those batteries is because this outputs quite a lot more wattages than, for example, even my 80-watt iPower. And that all goes into personal preference again, because I personally don't vape higher than 80 watts. So 220 watts I probably will never vape that high. But it is there, and it is an option for people. But because of the higher wattage output that this produces, it requires quite a bit more battery. So very good mod though. This tank is amazing. This is the same tank that I have on my iPower. The only difference is that this one's all matchy matchy because it comes in a kit. Very, very good. Very, very easy. Top fill. You're putting that little hole right there. Very, very easy to use. Very, very nice. Also has the airflow control. And very, very good mod. But those are the different type of mods that you can, or batteries, if you want to call them that, that you can look at as a beginner. I wouldn't recommend something like this at first. I mean, if you want something like this, by all means, it's a fantastic piece of hardware. But I feel that it's a bit much for a new person just getting into vaping. So I definitely recommend something like this or something like this, just a little bit more. That being said, though, again, it goes all with what you need. There is a plethora of hardware out there. I mean, we've got these tanks that are sub-ohm tanks. You can fill them up, as you can see. Let me move this little ring out of the way. As you can see, my tank is full of juice there, so I can pretty much just sit there and vape away at it. Very good flavor. Very good cloud production. Then you've got other things such as this. This is a dripper, and this is a bit more complicated, but I do want to go over these things so that you can understand that there are many options and many different things to do. This is a little bit more for the tinkerer. This is more for those folks that like to make their own coils and stuff like that. It is quite a bit of a money saver, but it also a little bit more difficult because you need to understand certain things like Ohm's law and stuff like that, which I'll get into later. You also want to understand that this is something that requires quite a bit more work, more maintenance, as far as you got to drip it every time the cotton dries up. You don't want to take the dry hits, stuff like that, which we'll get into more in detail later on. But what I'm getting at is that there is a lot of options for you as an individual. What is it that you want? Do you want the vape production? Do you want to go down on nicotine levels? Do you want to just get the flavor and don't care about the vapor production? Do you want a longer battery life? And these are all questions that are okay to ask. These are all questions that you should be asking if this is something that you decide to pursue. And over the next couple of videos, I will break down individually each aspect of these things, because there's other things involved like mechanical mods, which I definitely do not recommend for a beginning vapor. If you are new to vaping and someone recommends you a mech mod or a mechanical mod, if you're going to get into it, do your research. It is very, very important that you do your research. It is very important that you are safe. Mods like these are regulated mods. This is something you never have to worry about. This is something you really never have to worry about. This is, you're not going to have too much of an issue. It's pretty much just fire it up and go type of deal. But as I stated before, throughout the next couple of weeks, I will go into some detail on some information for various hardware. We're going to go over some juices. We're going to go over the nicotine levels and what it is that you maybe want to start off at, dependent upon what hardware you use, because all those things factor in. And basically what I want to do is I just want to educate people and give people an opportunity to have a healthy alternative to smoking cigarettes. I want to give people the light at the end of that tunnel, man. And that's why I do these videos. I don't get paid to do these. I'm not doing any reviews or anything like that. I don't get any of this product sent to me. Some of this product is mine, some of it is from the store, just for me to show you guys what's going on and what to do. And again, my goal here is just to educate people and give people a way out, a way to quit smoking cigarettes, a healthy alternative, but still enjoy it, because you can still enjoy it. You can still get a flavorful nicotine fix at lower levels of nicotine that are not harmful to you, and you get your smell back. You smell good. You get your taste buds back. You live a healthier life for you and your loved ones and everyone around you. And many of the issues that we have within the vaping community is that some people don't educate people enough, and some people feel like I just need to chuck this big old cloud of vape everywhere, and it scares people away. And I understand it, and I can definitely understand why. I can sympathize with the doubters, but I'm here to help, um, hopefully paint a better picture for vaping, the vaping community in general. So that being said, as I stated before, I will be making some more videos going over some of these things in detail, and hopefully maybe I can even get some folks, some other channels to help me out with this process and further explain things and get a little bit better at this. Again, I do this off, out of my own time, no money. I don't request anything from anyone. The only thing I want is to help. Honest to God, that's all I want. So hopefully we'll be able to walk you through this journey and help anyone interested in anyone interested in quitting smoking. I'm sorry, I'm mumbling my words here. So that being said, first of all, I'd like to give another shout out to Professor Vapes, who gave me an awesome idea to do my videos this way rather than up and down. It does look a whole lot better. And again, if you like what you've seen here, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, ask any questions. Feel free. I'm here to help in this journey, and I definitely want to. My goal is to see everyone quit smoking, everyone in the world, if I can. If I can reach that far of a distance, that's my goal. So that being said, guys, I just wanted to give you a few ideas, just give you just kind of a feel. I don't want to overload you with information, so I will break these things down little by little in the next coming videos. Until then, happy vaping. Drop that cigarette and pick up that vape. Delicious. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless.